What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wine Vlog. I am your host, Drew Baker, and this is the site where you join me on the journey from wine rookie to wine connoisseur. Now, if you remember, in the last episode we talked a little bit about wine and temperature. Now in this episode we're going to keep on that same general trend of how to properly serve wine, but we're going to look at it from a different angle. And in this episode we are going to talk about wine glasses and what's important to look for when you're purchasing them. Now, the first thing we want to look for is color. We want our wine glasses to be clear, and there's really no other acceptable color. And the reason for this is because you want to be able to look at the color of the wine unobstructed. You don't want anything funny going on with the glass that's going to affect the appearance of the wine. And the next thing we want to look for is the shape of the wine glass. We want our wine glasses to be what they call tulip shaped, and what that means is that the rim of the glass is actually going to be narrower than the bowl of the glass. And the reason for this is because we want the shape of the glass to naturally trap the aromas without just freely releasing them into the air. The next thing we want to look for when purchasing our wine glasses is material. We want them to be made out of crystal, not glass. And the reason for this is because crystal is actually a more porous material, and the surface of the wine glass will actually be a little rougher. And the reason this is important is because it'll help to agitate the wine as you swirl, and this will help to release some of the finer aromas of the wine and help oxygen to get in and release some of the taste, so we'll actually improve the wine. The next thing we want to look for is the size of the wine glass. As you can see, this is a pretty large wine glass, and this wine glass is made for robust red wines. And the reason we want larger wine glasses for our red wines is because we really want room to swirl. And swirling is important with red wines, especially those that are younger. And the reason for that is so that, like I said before, the oxygen can really get in and release some of the aromas that could be trapped in the wine. The next shaped wine glass we want to look at is the more petite, slender wine glass. Some call this flute shaped, and this wine glass is going to be used for our sparkling wines and champagnes. And the reason for this shaped wine glass is it helps to really enhance the appearance of the sparkle in the wine, the bubbles. And also we want this wine glass to be made out of crystal as well, because crystal can really help to improve the effervescence of the wine. The rough porous surface can really help the wine to bubble. The last wine glass we want to look at is a white wine glass. Unfortunately, I don't have one to show you, but as you can imagine, it is somewhere in between the size of this very large red wine glass and this flute-shaped wine glass. I'm sure we've all seen a wine glass between these two sizes. But the reason you want that in-between size wine glass is because with the white wines, you still want a little bit of room to swirl, but at the same time you want the tighter, smaller wine glass than the large red to try to trap and concentrate some of the finer aromas that are found in the white wines. Now, the last thing we want to briefly talk about is how to handle a wine glass. You want to hold it by the stem and not by the bowl. I know we've all seen people holding wine glasses like this, but the reason is because your hands are warm and they will rise the temperature of the wine. And in the last episode we talked about how important temperature is when it comes to wine. And the other reason we want to hold it by the stem and not the bowl is because we don't want to get greasy fingerprints all over the glass while we're trying to view the color of our wine. So stem, not bowl. However, I do have a stemless wine glass here, and there are some advantages to this wine glass, and that is they're easy to handle, they're dishwasher safe, they're great for large parties, but they are not the choice of the wine connoisseur for the reasons I just gave. So that's all we have for wine glasses today. I hope you learned something new, and until next time, be safe, be smart, and don't drink and drive.